We often hear people say, it doesn't matter what a leader does as long as they get results. But does it really? I mean, when leaders bend the truth, dodge responsibility, or treat others poorly, it doesn't just affect the people they lead. It affects all of us, especially our kids. It sets a dangerous example that can damage relationships, work environments, and even entire communities. But the real damage comes when the next generation starts to think that this behavior is normal or even acceptable. Hey, today we're diving into why character counts in leadership and how poor behavior at the top can shape our children's future in ways we might not realize until it's too late. Hey there, I'm Steve. I'm a grandfather who's seen more than a few leaders come and go. I've been a search and rescue pilot, a consumer debt expert, and an investigative journalist. But more than anything, I'm someone who believes that character matters. Whether it's the leaders of our companies, our schools, our communities, their behavior has a real impact on people that they influence. I mean, including our kids. And since you're here, I consider you a friend, and I want you to feel welcome. This space is for all of us to have open, thoughtful discussions about the things that really matter. But before we dive into how character shapes leadership, hey, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And I'd love to hear your thoughts too. Feel free to drop a comment below as we go along. Your voice matters. And I'm genuinely interested in what you have to say. Now, let's get into it. Have you ever worked for or learned from someone whose behavior made you question their leadership? Maybe they refused to take responsibility for a mistake or bent the truth to make themselves look good. I think we've all been there. I mean, let me give you an example from my own life. I once worked with an attorney I thought I could trust, but one day I saw him eating produce in the grocery store without paying for it. It made me think, if he's willing to cheat over a few bucks, what else might he be dishonest about? That one small act of dishonesty made me lose trust in him, and he wasn't my attorney much longer. That's the thing about leadership. When a leader, whether it's a boss, a teacher, a coach, or even a politician, shows a lack of character, it plants a seed of doubt. If they cut corners in one area, what's stopping them from doing it elsewhere? Trust starts to break down, and when that happens, at the highest levels, it can affect the entire culture. Harvard Business Review shows how unethical leadership erodes trust and morale, ultimately weakening the entire system. We've all seen it, right? CEOs, politicians, public figures who manipulate the truth to protect their reputation, only for everything to unravel later when the lies catch up to them. It's a short-term game that leads to long-term loss, not just for them, but for everyone they lead. And when our kids see these leaders get away with dishonesty or disrespect, it sends the message that this behavior is not only acceptable, but a way to win in life. But it goes deeper than that, right? What happens when kids grow up seeing leaders act this way and get away with it? Over time, they start to believe that lying, bullying, refusing to take responsibility is not only acceptable, but the path to success. It sends the message that integrity doesn't matter as long as you win. How you got there isn't important. If that's the lesson they learn, what kind of adults will they become? Will they bring those same traits into their workplaces, relationships, and communities? The long-term consequences could be devastating, not just for them, but for society as a whole. Now, imagine this for a moment. What if your child or grandchild became the very kind of person who cheats to get ahead, lies to cover up mistakes, and treats people with disrespect? What if they grew up thinking it was okay to belittle others and disregard integrity just to win? Would you be proud of them? Or would you feel like maybe you failed them in some way as a parent or grandparent? It's a harsh question, but an important one. The way our kids turn out is often the reflection of the examples they see and the values we instill in them. Would you want them to follow the lead of someone who values power over principles? And as a grandfather myself, I think about what kind of person my granddaughter will become when she's an adult. I want her to be someone who stands tall with integrity, someone who leads by example and values others. I know I'd be damn proud if she grew into a person who did the right thing, not because it was easy, but because it was the right thing to do. That's the kind of legacy we should be passing down to our kids. But if we allow them to emulate leaders of poor character, we risk raising a generation that thinks integrity is negotiable. And that's a future I wouldn't want for any of our kids. For most of my life, I've always strived to be someone of good character. I've worked hard to be a good leader and to encourage others to strive for the kind of character they pray for on Sunday but seem to abandon on Monday. My number one life motto is simple. Don't be a dick. It may sound blunt, but at some point, character needs to be something we care about or we care for nothing. It's not just about what we say, but about how we act, especially when no one's watching. If we want to raise a generation that values integrity, we need to show them that character isn't something we can turn off and on when it's convenient. So here's something to think about. How does it feel to be someone of good character and reputation? When you do the right thing, even when no one's looking, how does that make you feel? Does it give you a sense of pride, fulfillment, or even self-respect? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so let me know in the comments below. If we allow kids to emulate leaders of poor character, we're encouraging them to build their lives on a foundation of dishonesty and selfishness. This can lead to a breakdown in trust in their personal and professional relationships and create a cycle where unethical behavior becomes the norm. Imagine a generation that grows up believing that cheating, blaming others, and disrespecting people is the way to get ahead. Over time, that erodes the fabric of society, making it harder for people to collaborate, trust one another, or even function effectively in teams or communities. The cost isn't just personal, it's cultural. Now, on the flip side, think about a leader who led with integrity, someone who took responsibility for mistakes, treated others with respect, and set an example worth following. Those are the leaders we remember and trust. And that's the kind of example we should be setting for our kids and grandkids. Kids who grow up seeing honesty, respect, and accountability in their leaders are more likely to carry those values forward into their own lives. They'll know that real success comes not from cutting corners, but from doing things the right way, even when it's hard. I'll never forget a time when one of my mentors, despite being under enormous pressure, stood by their principles even when it cost them. That moment taught me more about leadership than any success story ever could. Integrity isn't always the easy path, but it's always the one worth taking. So here's the big question today. Does character count? If character isn't the most important thing we should demand from our leaders, what is? Intelligence? Talent? Charisma? Sure, those things matter, but without integrity as the foundation, everything else crumbles. I'd love to know, what kind of person do you want your children or grandchildren to be? Let me know in the comments. I consider all of you friends, and this is a community where your voice matters. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and together we can raise the bar for what leadership should look like. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe, like this video, ring the damn notification bell so we can continue with these conversations. Leadership isn't just about what you accomplish. It's about how you accomplish it and the example you set for others. So let's work together to raise the standard for us and for the next generation. Until next time, see ya.